Welcome to Movie Chat, The Mummy from 1999 with Brendan Fraser. Just something about him in this film. Right, I'll just add our guests in. This is the moment where I always think, who have I added? Right, let's add them in. Right, let me see who I've forgotten. Who have I forgot? Somebody come in. Woo. Hello!
Hello.
Oh,
Hiya!
happy birthday!
Oh, thank
Yeah, happy
you!
birthday.
Thank you very much.
Roast lunch.
Yeah. Oh, it was lovely. Yummy. But now I've eaten a bit too much cake, so I'm feeling a bit like I need a nap.
Cake coma.
You know, like when you have like a sugar rush and then you're like on the.
Oh,
So this
no.
could be interesting. Hi, Karen.
Hey.
Hello.
Friend here.
Ooh.
Oh, spooky! Isn't he
Um,
like? Isn't he massive? Is he the
he
big
is mad.
one?
He's like
It's
super
huge.
Imhotep.
Whoa.
He's come to join the chat.
Imhotep.
Whoa.
Imhotep.
To sit him up.
Wow, I love it, Karen. Oh. Oh, well, thanks for joining me. And on my birthday as well, I thought, when I planned it, I thought, oh, it'll be fine. Be nice to do a chat, which it will be. But myself and Bill, the lovely Bill, we read The Mummy for Point Horror Book Club, and I sacrificed Brendan Fraser at the time because Josh's book was coming out, and then we were like, oh, we should really do it, really. We really like this
Yeah.
film, so here we go. Yeah. Oh, so joining us is the brilliant Bill Wood. Oh, what's that, Josh? You've always got
Oh,
good
it's the
stuff.
box set.
Oh,
It's the
that's
two
so cool. Look,
good
it's got like
ones.
the key thing on it as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, it's like a whole thing.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's
Imhotep.
amazing.
Yeah.
Imhotep. I've been going around the house all day. That's all I've been
Whoa,
saying.
whoa,
Imhotep. Everyone's looking at me like I've lost the plot. Give me cake. Give me cake. And Kev's just like, oh, God, not again. But joining us is the brilliant Bill Wood, author of Let's Live Woohoo! Two for the price of one. So you've seen its second print now, Bill, right?
Yeah, it's out.
Already?
Yeah.
It's in its second print run, is
Yeah,
it?
yeah, already. It was crazy.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And then we've got Josh, author of Heads Will
whoa.
Should
Roll.
have grabbed my copy.
Woohoo. Ooh. Yeah. As I
I
always
have the
do, because this
shadow glass
Hey.
awesome
here. There we
cover.
go.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. Shadow
My
Glass.
favourite.
Oh.
Oh, it's so cool. I love the shadow glass as well. And we've got the brilliant Karen. Yay, Karen.
Woo!
And she's always full of super fun
And
facts and like she teaches
shots.
me a lot on chats. I feel like educated, which I know that I need, but thanks to everyone for joining. So there will be spoilers ahead for The Mummy, the movie from 1999. So if you haven't seen it, we might spoil it for you. So sorry. But yeah, so basically The Mummy is about adventurer Rick O'Connell. I'm renaming it The Yummy for tonight. The Yummy. So yeah, adventurer Rick O'Connell, Egyptologist, I don't know if I'm saying these right, Evelyn and her clumsy brother inadvertently wake up a bedeviled mummy, Imhotep. Pharaoh Seti's high priest, I think I'm saying that right, during a dig at the ancient city of Humanaptra. I've been practicing. I'm proud of myself. And Stephen Summers, now I'm not sure, was he the director, I think?
Yeah.
I think
And the
so.
Stephen
writer.
Summers, yeah, and the writer. So he said that The Mummy from 1932 was the one movie that scared him as a kid. So, and he was only 8 when he saw it. and he wanted to recreate the things he liked, but on a much bigger scale, which I think he did pretty good. And in 2004, Universal Studios opened a ride called Revenge of the Mummy, which I would have loved to have gone on. Is it still there? Like, does anyone know? But it was a ride based on The Mummy Returns, and the ride became so popular that the lines would stretch into the main park, and whilst the riders were waiting for hours in the sunshine, they got them to shout "Imhotep, Imhotep." I thought that was pretty cool. I would love to be in that queue, definitely.
I think I should
Yeah.
get shouted in any kind of crowd and just see who picks up. There's enough of it.
We should test it out, you know.
Like New Year's Eve, just start shouting.
That's a good idea. Sharon says the whole cast are so easy on the eye. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I'm taking it that we have all seen The Mummy before, because it's such a classic. So what do you remember the first time you watched it, and what your impression was when you first saw it, Josh?
Yeah, I saw this in the cinema pretty much the week it came out. 1999 was like a crazy year for movies. I remember sitting right down near the front in an enormous screen. Don't know why we decided to do that, but we did. And it just completely sucked me in. I thought it was the best thing I'd ever seen. Absolutely loved it. And yeah, I was obsessed with it for years. And I've kind of dropped off watching it in the past sort of 10 years or so. But yeah, I was really, really into it for quite a while.
Yeah. Oh wow! Imagine sitting in the cinema right at the front.
Yeah, I know. It's like, whoa, I am in Egypt.
I love that. How about you, Bill? Do you remember when you first saw it?
I don't recall my first time ever seeing it, but I rewatched it for the first time in ages last year, and I think I've watched it again since like 6 times.
Wow.
I got to see it in the cinema earlier this year in IMAX, and that was amazing. It was so cool.
Oh, I bet that would have been. Oh, I really want to see it in IMAX now. That would be so amazing. Or you know, like one of those cinemas where the seats move and stuff. Yeah, and it sprays like water.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem practical. Like if you've got a drink, I feel like you just choke on your floor after like 5 seconds.
Also,
Well, I went
lots
to
of
see
sand in this film. Imagine if they just threw sand at you for the whole film.
Yeah. I went to see one of the Scream films, the new Scream film, when it came out, in one of them cinemas where the seats move, and it was awesome. So like when they stabbed someone and there was like blood splatter, it would literally just go with spray you with water. And the seats
so
were moving. Oh god, you get used to it after a while with the seats moving. But to start with, I was like holding on to Kev, like Kev, I'm gonna fall out the chair. But yeah, it was pretty cool. But the blood splatter thing was awesome. It was just like splash. How about you, Karen? Do you remember when you first saw it?
It's actually a big one for me because it was the first time I'd gone to the cinema on my own, which I now do like almost as standard. I was at university in Lincoln, and they had this big Odeon in the cinema. Excuse me, I've got a cough.
Oh, bless you.
I've just been to Italy, and I've got a cough from Italy.
Oh.
But no, I went into this cinema, and I was like, okay, I'll just see whatever's on, because I'd never seen the film on my own before. I'd always gone with my family or like the girls from my halls. And I was like, I just want a day on my own. And I walked in, and they were like, oh, there's a film called The Mummy. We don't know if it's any good. And I went in, and I was alone. Like, the whole cinema was mine. I got to sit right in the middle and have all the surround sounds. And I just sat there with my popcorn, like, oh, this is the best. I had no interruptions, no one, like, chewing and making noise and talking through it. Just, like, the perfect screening, like it was my own personal screening. And
that's so awesome.
Because, like, I'm just like, that's the best way to watch it, is in the cinema alone at 2 PM.
Oh, that sounds so awesome. Oh, I love that. I can't actually remember when I know I did see it back in the day, but I just can't remember. I must have gone to the cinema to see it, but I don't know why I blanked it out of my memory because, you know, Brendan Fraser enough, you know, alone is enough. But yeah, so for some reason I can't remember when I first saw it, but I have rewatched it many times over the years. And then But this is the first time, like Josh, it's the first time I've watched it in quite a while.
I
But
think sometimes you
yeah,
reach like peak watching of a film, and suddenly you're like, okay, I can't watch it for a while because I'm ruining it now. I need to just
yeah.
have a pause.
Oh, that's so true.
Like if you listen to a song
I
over
watch
and
it
over
all the
again.
time. But I can't.
You watched it all the time, Karen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
This
definitely.
was
We
like, it
brought.
must have come out right around the time that DVDs were really booming, because this was probably one of the first DVDs I ever bought. Like I had like Gladiator, which was 2000, so that was the era of like the rising of the DVDs, I think.
Yeah, because I remember definitely getting this and Final Destination on DVD, maybe around the same time. So yeah,
I do
definitely.
remember
And
in the cinema they had that, and then about 3 or 4 weeks later there was one of the Star Wars movies came out.
Yes.
This
oh yeah,
moment
Yeah.
going
Blair
to
Witch Project
history of
was
getting the best stuff.
99.
Yeah.
It's huge.
yeah, of
Was
course.
The Matrix
Yeah, it was a big year.
99 as well? It's like 99 was
Yeah.
a crazy year for
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm going to look it up after to see what else came out. Dustin put, I missed the era of Brendan Fraser. Gorgeous. Yes. Melina said, it was a first time watch for me. I don't know how I've managed not to watch it until now. Wow. We introduced Melina to the Mummy. Kirsty said she's forgotten so much of the beginning of the film. I thought that. I couldn't remember much of the beginning. Sharon said, this film is such a comfort film for me. I saw it at the cinema on release too. Yeah. Dustin's put another chat with everyone in glasses but Shelley. So I did a chat last week and everyone had glasses on except me. I'm missing out.
You just stump her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Put your
need
shades
some
on.
glasses.
I can't with a pair of glasses each week.
Jeanette in Scotland said, I saw the first and second Mummies movies in the cinema, but I haven't seen the movies in a while. Yeah, it is funny, like you say, Josh, maybe like after a while we just don't watch these things. But now I'm like in a real like 90s, late 90s like film mindset, so definitely gonna check some out. So have any of you ever been to Egypt? I'd love to go to Egypt, but I haven't been. Has Karen, have you been? Yeah. Oh, what's it like?
Cool story actually, because I went when I was about 15, so maybe 3 or 4 years before this movie came out, and I was super excited because there was a movie that had come out that I cannot remember what it was called, but it had a kid in it that went to Egypt with his father, and they solved the Pharaoh's curse. Maybe Josh will know what it is because you know all the films.
Oh,
it's like straight
the
to
pressure.
the VHS tape. Like it was never in cinemas. And I was like, I'm going to be this kid and I'm going to run around Egypt. It's going to be amazing. And I get there and I literally had the worst start because I had my CD player got lost on the airplane, at least my mom's CD player.
Oh.
And it was gone and stolen. And then like all this other stuff happened. And we met a guy who was in our hotel that said, hey, I can take you on tours. And his name was Aladdin. And I was like, this is amazing. And he turned out to be the one good thing of this trip. I'm still friends with him, Aladdin Khalifa, if you're ever watching. But we've stayed in contact for 25, 30 years now.
Wow.
And he took us around and he started to introduce me to learn how to read hieroglyphics and showed me all the tombs. And I've got pictures of me and mum in the tomb like this. He snuck us in where his mates were working and things. It was great. So
oh wow, I love that, Karen. Oh, and you're still friends now. That's amazing.
Yeah, just Facebook friends. We're not like hanging out because he lives in a different place.
Yeah,
we've kept in
Still
contact.
keep in touch.
Still just feel like every now and then.
Oh, that's so cool. And would you like to go to Egypt, Bill?
Of course.
Do you think?
Of course, yeah. That is like
would.
one of the bucket list places, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people agree with that too. It's just the amount of like history there. It was always like my favorite subject growing up, like ancient Egypt. That was always one of my favorite things in history.
Yeah. I remember you saying, because when I picked the Mummy, you were like, oh, I love it, Egypt and stuff like that. And I was like, yay, good pick. Oh, would you like to go, Josh?
Yes, I would love to. When I was growing up, I was obsessed with Stargate. Just like completely made my love of all things ancient Egypt explode. So Yeah, I would love to go. The pyramids and everything. Oh my God, it'd be amazing. And like
Don't know
whenever
how.
I go to the museums, I just go straight to the ancient Egypt section.
Yeah.
Like, where's the
Yeah.
mummies? Show me the mummies.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I got freaked out in the museum once. I think it was, I want to say it was in London. And I don't know why, but there was loads of people in the mummy bit with me. And then all of a sudden they all just disappeared. But it, honestly, you know that scene in Valentine, right? When she's running through like the maze of things and then she gets shot and she goes out the window. That was me in the mummy bit of the museum because I just couldn't find my way out. It was like a little maze and I was like, oh my God, freaked out. So there was just literally no, everyone had gone and then I was thinking I'm going to get locked in the museum. Not, yeah, it was...
These nights in the museum.
yeah, I was probably only like lost for about like 2 minutes, but it felt like about 2 hours. I was like, oh, mummies. Honestly, it was yeah. My mind goes into overdrive. I'll have to tell you about my MRI scan at some point when I had that, and yeah, my mind just goes like, whew.
Come on,
Yeah.
he's gonna get me.
Honestly.
I mean, they're building at the moment a massive museum called the Gem that's in Cairo next door to the pyramids. And they're bringing back all of the mummies that have been sent out to like different museums and like different people have been holding them. They're all putting them back in there. So they've got millions of artifacts and it's only ancient Egypt. You could get totally lost in there. It's going to be miles. It'll be like the Vatican.
Wow.
But only
Yeah.
Egypt.
I'm going.
So, yeah, hold off until it opens. It was meant to open last year and it's been waiting and waiting.
Wow.
So give it a little bit of time
Dear.
here and then go, and you can spend
I'd like
some
to think I'd be brave enough to go into like the pyramids or something like that, but I am a little bit of a wimp. So but you know, so many
Sounds
people
quite
are with me.
claustrophobic.
Yeah, I'll be all right. Justin said, careful, Karen may be cursed. Yeah, Karen. Kelly said, I love visiting Egypt. I even have an Eye of Ra tattoo. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that's so cool. And Jeanette said there is an Egyptian museum and papyrus collection in Berlin. If you're new to the chat, I'm really bad at pronouncing things. I do apologise. I do try.
You did
I
it.
just
That
kind
was
of make
perfect.
the... Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Yeah, normally, like, if you wonder how I get on reading, I just make the names up in my head as I go along. It's like really...
Yeah.
And then I always get them wrong after that. So Brendan Fraser was cast due to the success of George of the Jungle in '97, and Stephen Summers commented that he felt that Fraser really fit the bill that he was looking for because he wanted someone like the actor Errol Flynn, like a swashbuckling type of character, and he just envisioned that perfectly. So, and the actor understood that his character doesn't take himself too seriously, otherwise the audience can't go on the journey with him. So yeah, I think he captured that really well. And apparently Leonardo DiCaprio was rumoured to have been offered the role before Brendan Fraser, or somewhere in the middle, which I can't picture, but because of the beach, he turned it down or something like that. So what did you think of Brendan as Rick O'Connell? Was it perfect casting? Karen?
perfect casting. I spent many years just like, oh, he's just so pretty. So yeah, he embodies everything about that. He's funny. He's got all the knowledge, but he's also like a little bit cheeky and he stands up for Evelyn all the time, despite the fact that he gets her in danger 700 times. Get killed every scene.
We can forgive him because he's just gorgeous. Yeah. How about you, Bill? Do you think he was a good choice for Rick O'Connell?
Yeah, as Karen said, it's perfect casting. I think he does like the suave and also like arrogant so well. I couldn't think of a better actor, honestly, to play him.
Yeah, I couldn't picture anyone else doing it, to be honest. How about you, Josh? Are you a fan?
Yeah, he's like the Han Solo, but with like he's got more of an heart than Han Solo. Like he's really quite lovely. Like he gives Evelyn the gift of the what's it called? The chipping things, the little
Yeah.
tools and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He was great. I actually knew him weirdly from a film called Now and Then, which was like mid
Oh,
90s,
yeah.
and not many, like some people really remember it and some people really don't, but it was that film with like Christina Ricci
Yeah.
and Thora Birch, and
Oh.
they like encounter him as a guy who's just come back from Nam, and he's like, you girls don't know what I've seen over there, and all this kind of stuff, and they like bum a smoke off him and stuff. So I knew him from that. So when he was
Yeah.
in The Mummy, I was like, oh my God, it's that guy from that film.
Oh, yeah, I love that film. Kelly's just put, I love that film, and Kirsty.
That was like Stand
Yeah.
By Me, that film.
Yeah.
It was like,
I
it was,
haven't seen it for many years, but I do remember it. Yeah.
I can still remember when I watch it now, I can still remember where the ad breaks were from my recording when I
Wow.
recorded it on TV because it showed on Channel 4 in like the mid 90s.
Oh,
And I can still be like, oh, ad break, ad break.
You
I
pause the
love
DVD,
that.
so you can then go and get
Yeah,
a cup of tea
exactly.
and then like scream at a sibling, like it's coming back on.
Snack time. Oh, I love that, Josh. Yeah, I totally agree. He was the perfect casting. And I do have a list of other actors who were considered for the role. So just give me your initial reactions when I say. So we've got Tom Cruise. No.
I knew that one, but also got cancer and rubbished it up. So
Yeah, he did
Oh,
the Mummy.
yeah.
right.
He
He
did
the
like
Mummy
a
in
reboot.
The reboot,
2017.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
If he had done it,
Yeah.
if he was doing it, he
I've
would
seen
have
it. It's not a movie.
been. He's obsessed with just being like America's hero. So the film would have just been all about him, which would have been incredibly boring.
Yeah, definitely. Brad Pitt.
It depends. If it was like that, what was that movie? I keep on saying River Runs Through, and it's not that one. It's the one where he goes
Tibet.
off and he's got like long hair.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If it's
I know what
that
you mean.
era, then sure.
Then maybe. Yeah. Matt Damon.
No.
Can't picture that. No.
No.
Too nerdy.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck. I'm not a fan. I've only oh no, I shouldn't say, but I've only ever seen him in one film that I liked him in, Ben Affleck, and that was Gone Girl, and that's because he plays an absolute arse. Yeah, I'm not a Ben Affleck fan. Chris O'Donnell. Do you remember Chris O'Donnell? No,
I don't think that'd have been.
think
He
I
had like a
he would
day
have
where
been
he was
all
very
right.
cute and adorable. So
All of these
I think he
guys
would
are
have been good.
too. I think. Like Leo DiCaprio would have been too twinky to woo Evelyn, I think.
Yeah.
I think
So
Chris O'Donnell's
considering
about,
all of
I don't think he has like the Western edge to him. Like he doesn't look cowboy enough.
Definitely. I'm sorry if I keep over talking. I think I've got a slight delay, so I do apologise if I'm over talking everyone. But we'll get through it. Yeah, so I think we can all agree that definitely Brendan Fraser was the best out of the bunch. But I did make a note that there was an alternative choice for Evelyn as well, which was Anna Frail. Do you remember Anna Frail? Pushing Daisies?
Yeah.
Pushing Daisies. Oh, what else was she in?
Wasn't she in Brookside?
Yeah.
She has the look, but not the. She's not Evelyn inside. She could have pulled off the outfit.
Yeah. But I don't think Rachel Wise had to audition. I think she was just offered the part because obviously she was already perfect.
Differently, because the only one that I saw that was who had to audition only once was Arnold Vosloo. He just walked in, did half an hour, and walked out with a job. And
Did
as I'm aware,
I
think Rachel Weisz had to interview, audition again and again and again to get the role because they weren't quite sure.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong, but that's what I was.
No, I believe you, Karen. My facts probably aren't correct.
I wasn't there.
Oh, I love that. Kelly said Brendan Fraser as Rick is one of my top love interests, even after all these years. Yes. Jeanette said, I think that Brendan Fraser was the perfect pick for the role. Kelly said humour, floppy hair, stubble, hero who saves the day, leather wristbands. Oh, it's all about the leather wristbands.
It's all about the wristbands, totally. So hot.
What's not to love? Yeah, lots of love for Now and Then film, definitely. Oh yeah, Jeanette said that was maybe Troy, Karen,
No,
where
that was a
Brad
late.
Pitt.
I'm just looking up. I just
Was
saw,
it
like,
7 years in Tibet?
It's before
was it?
that, I think.
Is it
It's
the
the
one
one
with
where he had like
Anthony
there's three
Hopkins?
brothers. Sorry.
The one with
Oh.
Anthony Hopkins.
Yes.
It's
as the
always
dad.
on. It's always on like great movies, and I can't remember what it's called. It's got-
Legends of the Fall.
There we
Oh yeah.
It came
Legends
out
of
the
the
cinema, and as my brother
Fall.
says, he just saw people in cars sobbing still because they still couldn't get themselves together
Oh.
after the end.
Yeah, Kelsey just said Legends of the Fall as well. Oh, I haven't seen that for so long.
If it was
Did
in
I
that
put
era,
myself through the
I
trauma?
absolutely Brad Pitt in that.
Yeah,
He kind
definitely.
He kind of did it in Lost City recently with Sandra Bullock.
Oh,
He kind of played that
yeah.
role,
yes.
but just a lot after the fact.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I've seen that.
That was a fun film.
I can't remember it, but I'm sure I've seen that because I do
Oh,
love
good.
Sandra Bullock. So
It's great.
It's got a very the only memorable bit is where she's picking leeches off Channing Tatum. That's the bit I remember.
Oh,
That's the bit everyone
Don't know
remembers.
why.
I'm just going to conveniently pause it on that moment to get extra cake later.
I love that Josh has the same like shallow tendencies as me to watch movies. What a nice scene.
So apparently Brendan Fraser nearly died during a scene where his character is hanged, and Rachel Weisz remembered that he stopped breathing and had to be resuscitated. And according to him, Stephen Summers' only direction was look good, don't die, shove, action. And I believe that he did many of his own stunts. So what was your favourite action scene or stunt in the film, Bill?
I always go back to the boat scene. I think that's such a fun scene. And I love boats because I love that they can't escape, so you already like up the tension with that. But I don't know, it's got a bit of humour to it, and also again the tension. I love that scene.
Yeah, there's so many good one-liners in that scene as well. Brilliant. How about you, Josh?
I was going to say the boat as well, because there's like that perfect mix of humour and action and excitement and characters growing through the action. But I also really love that first moment when they go into the tombs and they kind of awaken the mummies. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love that scene. It's brilliant. How about you, Karen? Have you got a favourite stunt or scene?
I do love the boat, but I've got one that just makes me laugh every time because of the scream. So you know when they go into the tomb and the guy has lost his tongue and his eyes, and then Evie is stood against a wall with the mummy coming at her, and Brendan Fraser comes in and swipes the mummy. You've got one scene, it takes about half a second, but every time I'm dying because the mummy kind of goes and faces towards the camera and just goes, I just die laughing every single time. It's perfect. Like, it's really scary looking, but the scream gets me. The same with the scream of Evelyn jump when she gets thrown off the boat has got a perfect, like, not screamy scream. But I think those ones stand out for me. So, but the mummy takes it as 10 out of 10 screaming.
I do love that scene. That's brilliant. Oh, what scene do I like? Oh, so many good scenes. I do like the scene at the start with the library, that one take scene that they had to do with all of the library shells falling down. And I was
That's
like,
so stressful.
But imagine, like, they had to do that in one take, like, otherwise they would have had to spend, like, days setting them all back up again. So just for, like, it being quite genius, I just thought, yeah, brilliant. And I noticed in the second one, because I did try and start watching the second one last night, and they do a similar one with, like, pillars as well.
With their kids.
Yeah, and I thought, I like it. Nice.
Chip off the old blocks.
The magic of the two films is they do like connect up little dots.
Yeah.
Like where Josh was saying earlier about the tools when they give the tools over to Evie.
Yeah.
And there's a before that when they're going with all of the like across the river, and she's like, "We've lost everything, my tools." And I'm like, oh, it's like nice little connection that Brendan Fraser actually remembers these things. So
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I do,
nice little nod that. Yeah. Apparently on that boat scene as well, didn't they have to like do something CGI something over Rachel Weisz's white nightshirt because they realised it was quite see-through at some point. So they had to put like some like I think they just repainted over it or something in the editing process or something because it was quite see-through. So they thought, oh no, we're gonna lose our PG-13 rating if we put that in. Kirsty said if they were to do The Terrible and remake this film, who would you want in the main roles? Oh, that's hard.
My brain
do you
immediately
think?
went to Timothée Chalamet, but he wouldn't be
God,
right
no.
for any of the characters.
Oh,
So that was like my first, like, who would he play in the film? He could be Benny. Maybe he'd play Benny.
Yes.
Yeah.
I find like guys so annoying, so yes.
This is where my brain just forgets any actor that ever
Exactly.
exists.
Yeah.
And I just can't think. We'll have a think while we're chatting and see if we can answer that one.
I
They
I'll
would
have a little
obviously have
think.
like
Brad
Margot
Pitt.
Robbie as Rachel, as Evelyn and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that would be quite cool. What were you going to say, Karen?
From what
Brad
Josh
Pitt?
said about Brad Pitt in the I've now forgot the name of the Chantats movie where he plays the guy that's in the jungle. I think I would have an older version that's just like remake, but the ages people are now with him because he could just put that costume back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be so cool. I'll have a little think. Oh, who would you have, Kirsty? Let us know properly. So the effects team were told no gore when designing the look of the mummy. So they actually did tests for like grossness threshold. And according to Stephen Summers, the hardest thing about the movie was to blend the humour and the horror. And he said he didn't set out to make a straight horror film. So do you think they made the right decision in keeping it a PG-13, or would you have preferred a bit more horror and gore, Bill?
I don't know. I think for this being a PG-13, I think it helps because it came out in the 90s. I feel like the age ratings weren't as strict anyway, because it almost like I feel like if that came out today, they would have had to cut some of the stuff out because there is generally parts that are quite creepy. But I think for me at least, I think it works fine as it is. But I mean, I always love a horror film, so I would have 100% watched it if it was a little bit scarier.
No, definitely. How about you, Josh? Would you have liked a bit more horror, a bit more gore?
I think this movie works really well just as an adventure film. And like Stephen Sommers' pitch was Indiana Jones with a mummy, and that's exactly what he delivered. So I would love a mummy horror film, but I think that this film worked brilliantly in sort of like evoking that 80s adventure feel, and it does it really well. So I didn't feel like it was lacking in horror because it still has those kind of ghoulish moments anyway.
Yeah, definitely. And definitely Indiana Jones vibes, 100%. And Karen, would you have preferred a bit more horror? No. Karen's going to go, no.
I know they went through a number of different directors, and I have no idea on names because I just remember reading it.
I've got a list. I've got them.
Cool. But there was like one of them. Was it Guillermo del Toro? Was he around at that point? It was somebody does like a lot of like really creepy horror.
Yeah,
and I always
Barker.
For that movie
George A.
Romero. George A. Romero. Yeah.
So there was someone who had done like various different takes, and it kept getting shut down before Stephen Sommers got the romance angle into it. But there was like a full-on horror version where they were like, we'll make it dark and creepy, and they were just like, no. I think the Tom Cruise one actually went a bit more dark and creepy, and it was just terrible. So I don't think that would work. I think it needs to have that adventure / romance in there, like Goonies feel. Basically, it needs that.
Yeah, it did feel like really Goonies, like especially when like they're underneath. Made me wonder whether it was some of the rehashed sets at some point as well. Like it did look really Goonies, like
one-eyed with cells passed in the background.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently Clive Barker was attached to it at one point. I mean, can you imagine a Clive Barker version? God, it would have been like really violent and stuff, I think. Woo. And then, as we said, George A. Romero, Joe Dante. Yeah. Is that, am I saying that right? And apparently Wes Craven at some point was also attached
Wow.
to it loosely.
Yeah.
But that would have been quite interesting, I think. I would have liked to know a bit more about that. But I think out there you can look at like what their ideas were if you look it up on the interwebs somewhere. So yeah. Oh, Jeanette said maybe Tom Holland for cast as Rick. I could see that.
Because he was in that. What was that film that he was out? I can't remember the name of anything. So
The Uncharted
he was
one.
out. Yes.
He had like a
Oh,
similar
yeah.
sort of
Quite cool. He had that similar vibe. So
Yeah.
Well, what about Chris Evans?
Oh. Ooh.
I wouldn't complain. I do like him, but I think he's also maybe just aging out a little bit. I think you need like a younger one so they can do multiple movies. Because if they release one, I want like another 12. Like they failed on movie 3. Movie 3 doesn't exist for me. Movie 4, like if they ever made one, no. And all that Scorpion nonsense. No.
Oh, I love the Scorpion King.
I've not seen
They did like the special effects in 8 days on that film, so they were just like, okay, patch it together, go, and it just came out a little bit mangled. Like I liked The Rock, but I didn't like the setting that you can see in the background wasn't quite as well finished because of it. So I count it as a duology. It's not. The other movies are just standalone other films that are connected. No offense to The Rock, you did a good job.
Have you seen The Scorpion King, Bill? I haven't seen it.
Years ago. All I just remember is the CGI mess that is The Scorpion King.
Oh, I'm quite intrigued to watch it now just to see what it's like. But this always goes badly because then I'm like, oh no, I should have listened.
Watch the end of Mummy Returns because the CGI of The Rock is so funny.
Is it?
It looks like a game cutscene or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to check that out. Kirsty said maybe Nick Jonas and Maisie Williams. Oh, interesting.
I could see that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so Kirsty's trying to make me say this word that I can't say. He plays a similar character in the Jumanji remake. So I always say it wrong.
He does, he does.
Ah. Hang on. Who's in Jumanji? Nick Jonas?
He's like a side character in it, yeah.
Oh, is it? I don't remember him in that, you know. No, in the remake with Karen
He's like a
Gillian in it.
He's a
got
left there for 8.
Yeah, they have to save him.
He's very
Of course he is.
briefly.
Yeah, I can picture him now, yeah. On there. Kirsty said the scarab beetle crawling into his cheek was creepy enough for me. Oh, yeah. That's really creepy. Oh, Sharon says keep losing her signal. No, Sharon. Jeanette said I met The Rock in Germany in 1997. I'd love to meet The Rock. Super nice guy. Oh, I'm so glad he's so nice.
I got to meet him from afar when I was studying in the States. We went for a trip over to Boston. He was fighting at the time. He wasn't in film at that point. He was still The Rock as a fighter. And we walked up the stairs to go and get a train. And as we're halfway up, like, what's going on? Because we can hear screaming. And then The Rock got out of his thing, and both me and my friend Casey were like, Rock! And he looked up and was like, I've shared 2 seconds of existence with him.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I'd love to meet The Rock. So we're on about the special effects then. So how do you rate them in this film? Because I think the version I brought to watch this, I think we bought it in like 4K or some like restored version. So I feel like I cheated a little bit. Didn't watch the authenticness. So what did you think of the CGI in this, Josh? Did you watch it on your projector?
I did watch it on the projector.
Yeah.
I watched it on Now TV, so I think it was quite high def.
Yeah.
But I think that for me, CGI pretty much always ages badly, and there's something like just a bit pants about old CGI. Kind of, I think it slightly tarnishes a film a little bit, and for me, that's probably one of the reasons I stopped watching this quite as much as I had done previously, because your brain kind of catches up with CGI, and you suddenly start to look at films and go, oh, actually, the special effects aren't as good as I thought they were. And that's sadly this is one of those films for me. So I do cringe quite a lot through The Mummy now, because I think a lot of it looks quite cringy, but you know, like when they have the practical stuff, it looks awesome. So like a lot of the like army soldier mummies at the end, they were practical guys in suits, and you know, big surprise, they look amazing. But I think a lot of the early like degraded Arnold Vosloo stuff is a bit crap. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean there. How about you, Bill? How do you rate the CGI in this? Has it held up, do you think?
I mean, no. I mean, I agree with Josh. Like, I think I can kind of look past it, but then there's some like certain parts of the mummy when he's starting to deteriorate is just you can't ignore that. It doesn't look good.
Yeah.
But there's also a level of just like nostalgia to it as well, isn't there? That you kind of try and look past at least.
No, definitely. How about you, Karen?
I'm going to disagree with everyone, but only because I watched this on like a little, I don't know what it's called, was it Video Plus Hour machine? Which is a VHS with a screen on the top of it. So I got to watch the original, and I think it's perfect because it hasn't aged a day. Exactly as it was intended.
Did you
but
have
yeah, I think if you watch it on
interference
DVD
on the screen as well? The tracking was off.
Like I had to clean the whole VHS tape thing before I started using it, because every time I put something in, it's like 30 years of dust.
I
yeah.
love that, but maybe Karen has a point there. Maybe like because we now, as Josh said, we're used to like, you know, really good CGI, or you know, and we're watching these old films in higher definition. Maybe that's why it looks like it's aged a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe
because it looked blurry to me. Like everything looked spectacular, and then the CGI looked blurry. Like they haven't upgraded the effects to match that upgraded visual.
Yeah,
I do have the DVD
and definitely
version, and if I watch that on like my big screen TV in my bedroom, then I'm like, it's a little bit squint from where it was before. But if you watch it on like the small screen it was intended on a VHS tape,
yeah.
But
didn't it cost like 15
version, like,
million?
High tech to do it.
15 million? Did you say,
spend
Josh?
15 million on the special effects alone?
Wow.
It's like something like that. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot. What was I going to say? Yes, so I do like the mix of the practical effects as well, like you said, Josh. Like I think like how they did like the scarab beetles, the way that they got them to rush up out of the sand. They used some type of practical effect on that. But yeah, I think they did a good job. That I thought the CGI wasn't too bad, but on the mummy on Imhotep, I thought I could really tell that was really CGI. I was like, oh, that bit didn't age well. But I thought the thing with the sand, you know, when they're in the plane and the sand's coming on, I thought that had aged pretty good to me. I thought, yeah, that didn't age that bad.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
I'm trying to remember if I ever found the extending jaw scary, because it's such a cartoony kind of effect. It's fun. It's really fun, but it's like, are we supposed to be scared of that massive mouth?
Oh no, yeah, it's a bit like mine. When I get my cake, I'm like,
They do have a theme with the sand at the very start, like when they go to Hamunaptra the first time, and you've got Brendan Fraser standing in front of the statue, and then the sand starts sweeping over him, and I always think that's really cool because they just got it the point of like, run to that dot, run to that dot, run over here, then get out of the way. And it just looks awesome. He's getting like covered in sand, runs back a bit, covered in sand again. Get that big like, not the full version that you see later in the movie, but you see the guy like his face in the sand, like he's already there.
Yeah.
And yet he's already getting his powers. And I always find that like quite creepy.
Yeah, that is creepy. It's so cool. Kirsty said, I think we need to big up John Hannah, who was perfect in his role too. So he played Evelyn's brother, and Melina put, I agree, Kirsty loved John Hannah. So were you a fan of his character, Bill?
Yeah, of course. I think this whole cast is incredible, but I mean, John Hannah is great. It's just like kind of, it's not annoying. He's supposed to be annoying, but he's so lovable as well that you can't help. I think it's so good.
Yeah. just brings the right amount of comedy for me, I think. How about you, Josh? Were you a John Hannah fan?
Yeah. He's like the character is sort of stupid but not dumb, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Like
Yeah.
he's like really he's daft, but he's not unintelligent. Like he actually does know what he's talking about a lot of the time, and he can read Egyptian,
Mm,
mostly. So I think yeah, he's very very endearing, very charming.
yeah. How about you, Karen? Are you a fan of that
Yeah.
character?
Huge fan
Yeah.
of it. I did read somewhere that he almost turned down the role because he thought he wasn't a funny actor. And I'm like, he's
Oh,
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah.
Like he is
really?
like on the ball for every movie I've seen him in where he plays someone who's slightly comedy. He just hits the
Yeah.
line and he gets the right tone of voice. And
Yeah.
that scene at the start where he's in the tomb, like just after all of the library falls apart, and he's sitting there like with his arm around like one of the skeletons. He just does like this thing where he gets like the arms like,
Yeah.
and I'm like those little things like that. I'm just like spot on. Like, it's probably not written in the script that he was to do that,
Yeah.
but he's just like taking that comedy one level extra. So I'm really
Yeah.
glad he did it.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine him not being in the film, and I think he's just got like his timing, his comedic timing is just brilliant,
Yeah.
and his facial expressions for me like are just perfect. Like that scene when like he's running towards like the zombie mummy things, then he has to pretend to be one. He's like Imhotep, like that is just like brilliant. I just thought his facial expression, the way it just changes, it's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I couldn't imagine anyone else in that role. That's really hard boots to fill
Yeah.
if you was doing a remake, I think.
Mhm.
Or maybe Adam Devine.
I
No.
was just thinking the other day, you haven't mentioned him in a long time, Shelley. The love is still there.
The love is still there. It's fresh on my mind because in my memories, on Time Hop today for my birthday, the thing that Emma brought me, the little stand, it's somewhere. It came up on my memories, and I thought, oh, I haven't put that up. He could just go right up there.
Don't
So I
pretend
need
it's
to put
not
that
by
up.
your bed, Shelley. Come on now.
It's on the ceiling in the bedroom.
How we
Oh,
know
dear.
that you've never been body snatched because you do bring him up. If you ever stop talking about him, we'll be like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like my
got her.
password, isn't it? Is this the real Shelley? What do you think of Adam Devine? Sharon says, I worked for John Hannah for a time.
Whoa.
Sharon, you need to tell me more about that.
Ooh.
That's so cool.
That before
Oh,
or after the
yeah.
mummy?
Yeah, when was it? Tell us more. Kirsty said, compared to the Scorpion King, it's A++. So I think that's the CGI.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really intrigued now.
The Scorpion King has a lot of like electric guitar in it, which was a bit of a surprise, considering it's like set in the set 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
worked for me.
Sharon said, have we lusted over Our Death Bay yet? Oh, who did they play?
like 20 odd years, yeah.
I just need to remind myself of who
He's
that
the
is.
guy who's the Magi. Has like
Oh, that's
Oh,
fair.
yeah.
In
I'm just looking
Charmed.
up.
He popped up in Charmed season 7.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
in Star Trek recently
Yeah.
as well.
Mm.
Give that man long
Oh, yes. Oh, yummy, yummy. See, this is the yummy chat, not the mummy chat.
Everyone in this film was a lost after. I mean, they did a really good job of casting for me.
Definitely. I think with his character as well, they wanted to put more tattoos on him. I think I read, but because he was so beautiful, they said they can't put any more on his face because he's just so gorgeous. Kirsty said, I did mention he was my fave, Sharon Four. Jeanette said, oh, the Fae is a total hottie. Oh, yeah. So
Getting
Sharon
steamy.
said, I know. Whew. Sharon said, it was after the mummy. I worked for an architect that designed his home in Street. I think that is Street. He has cute twins and a lovely wife. Oh, just love him more now. Oh dear. So there's many iconic lines in this film. Do you have a favourite line, Karen?
I've got like so many favourite lines. I've now forgotten.
So many.
Oh my god.
Shall I come back?
Come back to me.
Josh?
Kadishmal, Kadishmal, Paradus, Paradus.
Oh, I'm impressed.
Which my boyfriend says all the time.
They did actually use really decent the ancient Egyptian was almost on par because they got somebody to come in and be like the language support on the film. So what you're hearing is actually close as they can work it out. Like you don't know what it sounds like, but they have the written text that they could then go throw some vowels in and make it sound like this.
Oh, that's
amazing. Didn't the ancient Egyptians, some of them wrote in Greek using the Greek alphabet, so that's kind of how we know. Right.
But they've messed up the timeline though because Seti and I can't say Ardeth Bay now because he's on my head. The antagonist. Oh, what's his name? The mummy.
Imhotep.
Yeah.
Arnold.
Imhotep.
We've said it enough times, Karen.
Imhotep.
They lived like 1,300 years apart, so it could never have taken place. And like all of the characters that are in it are real people from ancient Egypt, but they all lived thousands of years apart from each other. The same with Imhotep and his girlfriend. Like they were about 1,000 years apart, so there's no chance they would have met in real life.
Oh wow! So they basically just
romance.
So did they just use the names, or are they the same type of characters?
They're similar. Like Imhotep's job was different. He was like a vizier as opposed to
a physio.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow! I like that. Who didn't I ask? Bill, have you got a favourite line?
I actually wrote it down because when I was rewatching, I liked the bit where Rachel Weisz was like, "No harm ever comes from reading a book," and then obviously a lot of harm came from reading that book. But then also the one where they get onto the shore after the boat, and is it Benny who was like they're talking about, and he's like on the wrong side of the river, and Brendan Fraser says something like that. That was great. That was so funny.
Oh, Benny was great. It was, that would be me. Well, not like horrible, but like just a bit clumsy.
Yeah. I think I've figured mine out as well, purely from what you said there with Evie. I like the part where they're going down into that little like sewer area, and Benny's like, "Oh, he'll make you his for all eternity, like for forever." She's like, "For all eternity, you idiot."
Yes.
Like, I love the grab.
That's such a good one. And I love the one where Evelyn says, "No, I've never seen a mummy look like this before. He's," and then Rick goes, "Juicy." I love that line. And then I just love like their relationship together, like how like they finish each other's sentences in like sarcastic responses, which is a bit like me and my husband. That's what we do a little bit. We're very sarcastic to each other, and like sometimes like from the outside it looks like we're like being like snipey with each other if you don't know us, but literally we're just like really sarcastic to each other. And I love the one where Evelyn goes, "Oh, I've dreamt about this since I was a little girl." And Rick goes, "You dream about dead guys?" And I said to Kev, that's exactly like something we would say to each other. Oh, such a classic line. Kirsty said the book one I shared on Insta earlier is one of my faves. Yes, the one that Bill said, no harm ever comes from reading a book. Yeah, it has to be Rachel Weisz. I am a librarian. Oh, yeah,
that's a good one.
Says it so proud. I love it.
Her
Sharon
drunk
said...
acting was brilliant.
Yes.
So funny.
Yeah, she did do that good. Because sometimes like you don't quite know how to play like acting at being drunk, do you? Like, well, some actors, not us, but you know. They do it not so good, but she was Very good. Yes. Sharon said Rosetta Stone helped translate. I have a degree in Egyptology. Love it. Wish I could pop back and visit. Oh wow.
Let's
So
all
all these,
go.
that's so awesome.
All the cool people love Egypt.
Tells
Yeah.
Point Horror Book Club tour guiding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Need to make it a thing. Sharon said, I love the exchange as they walk through the treasure room. Can we just yeah, when they were walking through, that was cool as well. So just like a little fun question just to kind of finish off a little bit. So how would you feel? So basically we're saying Imhotep was a mummy, right? But really he wasn't mummified in the usual mummified sense of the word. So he was like had a worse death apparently than being mummified. I mean, that's horrific enough, right? So just a little fun question. How would you feel about being mummified? Dum, dum, dum. Karen.
Absolutely not. Thank you. That's terrible. I do have like questions about that whole thing though, because the Hyundai was only given to him, and I've got a feeling it couldn't be the first time they did that. Because if you ever tried to run an office of like say 20, 40 people, trying to get people to organise themselves for a day is impossible. They're expecting their team to organise themselves for like infinity. To make sure this guy does not come back to life. They've given this guy immortality and all these powers on the basis of him being able to be underground and kept into jail forever. I'm like, I'm sorry, I think I must have done that before and realised it actually worked. So
Yeah.
I want people containing, like, if he's down in the dark underworld, you do see him at certain points, second movie I think it is, falling into the underworld with all the people. I'm like, he must be talking to them. There must be like some chain. He was already fluffing up the sand at the start of the first. I reckon.
Yeah,
Also,
definitely.
Didn't it say
Thousands
those?
of them stand on Earth and be like, we're now superpowered. You can't stop all of us.
Didn't it
What were
say
you
that
going to
those
say?
scarab beetles would eat him very slowly and stuff? But then when they attacked everyone else, they just ate them completely within seconds.
That was
Very
my
quick.
exact thought.
Continuity.
They were hungry, Josh. They were like, they've been
Yeah.
like not released for like thousands of years. They were like, in my belly.
Fair enough.
Like me with cake.
Maybe they made the scarabs like long life, like immortal. Not immortal, but almost immortal. So they're just like, we can just have a little snack every now and then.
Yum, yum, yum. How about you then, Bill? Would you like, I don't want to say would you like to be mummified, but you know, if you had a choice.
Am I being mummified alive or am I dead already? I feel like I need to know that.
Yeah.
You can pick dead or alive.
I'd rather be dead if I'm being mummified, thank you.
A lot of like abuse of the corpses later, because they've made them, like for normal mummies, they've made them go into things like museums. So it's the equivalent of putting your body on show for the rest of time, and little kids can go up against the glass and look at your dead body. And then you get constantly like touched and pulled apart by people that work in museums. I'm like, that doesn't sound like a really nice time. Like, if I'm dead, I want to be able to just rest and be at peace.
Yes, that
Can I
sounds
get
good.
5 minutes, please?
Just need peace and quiet. Oh, how about you, Josh? Would you like to be mummified? You've got to be alive though.
Oh man.
I'll die.
I wouldn't mind being on display in the museum because one of my biggest fears is being trapped in an enclosed space. So at least if they took the lid off the coffin, I could just sort of like, just like chill out a bit and not worry about suffocating. So yeah, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
I'll make it.
You're still in a box for all eternity.
And like pose for pictures. It's just like,
Lying in the box.
yeah.
You'd sit up every now and again. Peace. Give people a bit of a fright.
How did his chin get that way? Because he was being eaten, but how did the chin like come off at the side?
Really? Yeah, I know.
Outside of the loss of tongue.
I love how they put that back in when he kind of goes back into the pool at the end. His jaw's like,
Yeah.
that was
Oh dear. Yeah, and I wouldn't like to be mummified. Just no. I just like, although as you have
And if
sold a
Adam
good
Devine
like,
was put in there with you.
right, well then definitely 100%. But no, you have got a good point. It would be like quite nice to have peace and quiet at least. Yeah.
It's like,
At least
that's
you'd be
pretty.
warm as well because you've got your little bandages around you, so it'd be snug. So you wouldn't need a blanket.
But you know,
So
the process of mummification involves them like yanking out all of your organs, sticking them into like different jars that then sit
But
next
that
to you.
sounds like really. That sounds like very neat and ordered, which is quite appealing. So just clean me up and
organisation.
pop me in some
It's great.
jars.
They'd put the hook up my nose to try and get my brain, and they'd be like, "Oh, nothing there. We've got a dud." That's why she can't pronounce names properly. I'd be like the only mummy that's rejected from being mummified. Reject, like stamp on my bandages. Oh dear. Let me just go back a sec. Oh, Sharon said I'd be mummified as long as I was definitely dead.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Kirsty said, I mean, they didn't even eat him wholly as he was still juicy. Eat who? Oh.
Imhotep.
Oh, Imhotep.
Yeah.
I was wondering what I missed there. Sharon said female mummies are always in worse condition due to rampant necrophilia in the mortuary.
Yeah.
God.
There's really nasty stuff that's in there. I read a lot of Egyptology stuff at the moment. And there's one where they've got a mummy that has like still has the fetus of the baby because she died in childbirth.
Oh.
And the baby got stuck in the canal on the way out.
Oh.
Have
Oh
a
my
mummified
God.
female that has a baby inside her.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really interesting, but also really nasty.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah. It's made me. That's sent a shiver right down my spine. That has. Oh, on that note, how to end the chat? Yeah. No, on that note, thank you guys for chatting and rewatching The Mummy. It's been brilliant, and it's been great, like revisiting such a classic film that I obviously used to love. And I'm going to go and finish watching the second film after this chat, and I'm going to have to watch The Scorpion King now.
I know you mentioned.
I've decided it's going to have to happen. Oh dear. And do check out Josh's brilliant book, Heads Will Roll, out in all good bookshops and everywhere, and I just keep seeing it everywhere, and every time I see it shared, I'm like, Josh, my friend. So honestly, like, I'm so proud. I see someone share it and I'm like, oh, that's Josh. Even I go to Kev, look, it's Josh, and he's like, yeah.
I do the same every time I go into bookstores and see your book, Josh. I'm like, Josh.
Oh dear. And now I do the same with Bill's book as well. I'm like, it's Bill.
Shiny.
I know, it's so cool. Oh,
I'm
gonna get
one. Yeah, I need to read it.
I've got this one, but I am gonna, if they're still available, I'm gonna treat myself to the gorgeous Braid Edges version. Yeah, I've got to go and hunt that down at some point. So yeah, but do check out Bill's book as well, and do check out Karen's page as well, because it's always super fun, and Karen always educates me. That's why I am now brainy. See, I learn a lot. Oh, and thanks everyone in the chat. Thanks for watching.
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Thank you. Thank you very much. See you soon.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
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 Bye.